Hi everyone, so welcome to week 2 of our Christmas Winter Journal of Stitchery. So I've done a little bit more work on my first block, as you can see. I found an image of a deer that I liked online, and I just kind of sketched it onto my fabric using my friction pen. Rough sketch, doesn't look exactly like the picture. And then all I did was I embroidered him with, just to show you, 3 strands of a sort of chocolate brown, dark chocolate brown stranded thread. And then I've just embroidered a little bit of holly using a really old piece of perle cotton. So this is just old, you can see it's kind of discoloured, which I really liked. And I use this red here to make French knots, 3 French knots to make the berries in the middle of the holly, and I used all 6 strands and wrapped 3 times to get my berries quite chunky. So someone in the Facebook group was asking about them, and everyone's given good advice. Definitely using that milliner's needle makes it easy to use 3 strands. You could even do French knots with wool or 3 strands, whatever you want, as long as you're using a milliner's knot. Just let me show you a milliner's needle. I'll just show you what they look like. Any kind of wrap threads, like your French knots, your bullion stitches, etc., they're all going to be very manageable. So these are milliner's needles. They're usually very long because it allows you the space to do your wrapping threads like your bullion stitch. I'll just take one out and show you. And the reason why it's so good is that the eye of the needle, hope you can see, the eye is the same width as the actual needle, so when you're pulling it through your fabric, it's easier. You're not going to have the struggle that you'll have with, say, another type of embroidery needle or a chenille needle. Okay, so I would suggest getting some milliner's needles. Now the eyes aren't massive, but I've got 2 sizes here, and the sizes are a bit random. They don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4. They're a bit all over the place, but I've got 2 sizes. I've got size 1 and size 4. Size 1 is the biggest. And I find that with 6 strands of thread, I can actually thread that one. For the smaller one, I wouldn't use all 6 because I wouldn't get it through that eye. Okay, so that's just a little bit of help for someone that was asking. So back to my block, what I want to do now is just some embellishing. Oh, and just shout out to my friend Vicky. Hi Vicky. I spent the day with Vicky yesterday at a Slow Stitch group. And hi to Lisa. You probably won't watch, but it was Lisa Mattock's group. And I was a bit worried that my deer looked a bit more like a moose. Or a bit of a funny deery moose, but anyway, Vicky just said I had to give him a smile, so I've given him a little smile. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do a bit of embellishing. So this is some of my hand-dyed lace, so I thought I'd add some green on, some extra green. Just going to play around with where I think things might go. Yeah, quite like it up the top there with the red and the green. What have we got? Got some rickrack. Yep, that would look good there. Trim the rickrack and I'll stitch that down. I stamped a, that's actually the date that I started the block, the 6th of the 7th, 2022. And I wanted to put that on, and the stamp I used was just this one. It's very cheap. It cost me $2 something, and I got this at Daiso. And it's just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 number combinations. I quite like using this, so I thought I might stamp the dates. So I think I might put this on somewhere as well. That's an option. Don't mind it there. Or even there. Maybe there at the moment. Although I want to put this Suffolk puff. So this Suffolk puff was white, and another thing that I just threw in dye. I've been having fun with dye in the last couple of weeks. Been chucking everything in the different dye batches. this one is the same colour. This is a bit worn, this one, but I thought I'd use both of these. And that's quite big, so I'm probably going to need, yeah, that will go there nicely. And then this one I thought maybe at the top. I have these lovely labels, linen, I guess they're like laundry labels as well. I think they're from Germany, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that one. Oh, I found one of my red laundry, oh, that's good, I just put it all out there, it doesn't matter. I found RD, which I thought was good because it stands for reindeer. So I thought I'd put that on. I feel like I need something here. What else have I got? I've got lots of little bits. I just pulled some bits. Lovely bells from my friend Vicky. I want to put this on, but I'm probably going to add this onto a tab off the side, which I might not do today. That could actually get stitched on there. Don't throw away scraps. This is just a tiny piece of lace. It's actually just the edging of the lace that I've trimmed off something. And, you know, you can chuck that down somewhere. So I might even just put it on there, sew it there. Okay, you never know what you might want to use. I like this button too. I was going to use this button. Maybe I use it over there with my little bit of lace I'll stitch on. All right, so that looks like a bit of a plan, and now I'm going to go ahead and attach all my embellishments. Hopefully I remember where I wanted them. So with the green trim, I've got a green thread right next to me, which will blend in nicely. So I'm just using an old machine cotton. Which sewing needle have I been using? That one looks alright. I've got so many different ones in front of me. Okay, so do my quilter's knot, run the string down the needle, wrap a few times, and then you slide the knot down the needle and along the thread. Okay, so I need to attach this. I'm just going to do an overcast, like a little stitch over the edge here. Whoops, picked up my, move them over a bit. So you can see the colours of my journal are going to be those jewel tones, the green, the red, the neutrals, and the blue, mostly probably navy blue. I might add in some lighter blue as well, and a bit of royal. That, I guess these ones are quite a royal blue, the ones that I dyed. So yes, it will have some traditional Christmas, and I've got some great Christmas bits and pieces. Some are from lovely people who have sent me some, like I showed you previously, the lovely packs I got from Lisa Mattock from Forage. And she's given me some great Christmas fabrics, which I'll be using. And from my lovely friend Vicky yesterday, gave me a gorgeous pack of bits and pieces. And she knows I like little embellishments, a lot of these little things on the side here, these bells, buttons. She gave me gorgeous little things like that that I'll be able to use. Lisa gave me some lovely little charms, trying to think of the name of them, charms. I've got 12 gold charms. They're all different. I'm just showing you my little box of goodies here. I've put together some bits and pieces. These are the Lisa ones, the silver ones. I've got a bunch of gold ones that I got from, I'm pretty sure I bought these ages ago from Melanie, who I've mentioned before. So I've got 12 of them, so I think I might actually put one on each page. So I will have to find one to go on this page. So buttons, fabrics from other people. I use some Christmas, some not Christmas, some will, you know, just be the colours of Christmas. So my journal, as I said last week, is going to be mostly following, I think, the Christmas themes. Although I didn't do a reindeer specifically. I've done a deer. I guess I could have done his nose red and then he would have been Rudolph. But he's Christmas because he's got some holly up on his horns, just on his head. So yeah, mine will mostly be Christmassy kind of themed. I'm actually getting in early on my video. It's only Monday today, which is good because I normally leave it until Wednesday, right before I go to hockey. But I did a bit of this yesterday, stitching. So I thought that I'd like to maybe finish it off. And then I need to work on I'm not going to do a title page that goes on as the first page of my book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that's going to go onto the cover of my book, is what I'm thinking. I might do something that will be stuck on the inside cover later on. I definitely have an idea for the outside of the book, but not exactly a title page. So if something comes to me later on, because of trying to balance my page numbers, there will be the 12 prompts. And so me doing the style of book that I'm doing with the double page signature, so you have 4 blocks attached to that signature, it would be an even balance for me just to have the 12 pages, which would be 3 double signatures. So I'm not going to do the title page to go on the first page because that would create 13 pages, which means I'll have to come up with an extra one, or I'd have to come up with 3 extra ones depending on how I put it together. So I hope that's not confusing everyone, and really don't stress about how you're going to put your book together yet. You can think about that later on. I would just do your blocks about the same size. If you've already got your book, then it gives you your guide for how big your pages should be. But if you haven't got your book, you might need to just make sure you find a book that's a little bit bigger than your pages, or if you can find one that perfectly fits your pages, that is great. But if your pages are a little bit smaller, there are easy ways to expand them, like adding on a bit of lace, adding on a trim, stitching it down to your base page, and then sort of slow stitching some scraps of fabric. And I'm going to show you at the end of this video some stuff that Mum's done. I was at Mum's place today and I did a little bit of filming of some of her work, and I will show you a spot where her pages were smaller than what her book pages needed to be, so she's added on some extra fabrics, and it's very simple to do and it looks really good. Rachel also did that when she started putting together her collaboration pieces that we did a while ago. So I'll show you how Mum did it. I'll just do a little explanation when I show the video. I might attach it to the end of this one. All right, I'm going to pause the video now and I'm going to stitch down some of these bits and pieces because it's pretty boring just watching me do an overcast stitch, getting things into place, and I'll come back and go through what I've done. Okay, so here we are with my finished block for the first 2 weeks. So you can see that I've added a bunch of embellishments, and I'll just explain what I've done. I'll just make sure I'm focused. Sorry about the wobble. Okay, so firstly I added a piece of my hand-dyed rickrack down the bottom, and I did little French knots with a thin thread to hold it in place. I stitched down one of my Suffolk puffs that I dyed as well, and then I did some little drizzle stitches. So the red is just a normal stranded cotton, and I'm just looking for my green. Where is it? Oh, where did I put my green thread? I was going to show you what it was. Anyway, I can show you what it is. Oh no, here it is, over here. Okay, so I used this thread, which is a Sue Spargo Razzle Dazzle thread, the green glittery glitzy one. Then I sewed on the reindeer for reindeer. One of my little laundry labels there. The date that I stamped here with a wooden button. That's wood, that button. I did a little bit of stitching up here just to add a bit of green, and I couched a random piece of lace, just a little scrap of this lace. Just here I couched that down with the razzle dazzle thread, and then I embroidered a little bit of holly on my deer's head with green stranded cotton, and then a little bit of razzle dazzle to give it a little bit of bling. I wanted to put a little charm on each of my blocks, so I've stitched the little snowflake onto the antler. You saw me stitching the green lace across the top there, and then I just stitched down one of these blue flowers, which is another thing that I hand dyed, and one of these red flowers, again I hand dyed that. I did there's a couple of layers of different fabric. There's like tea dyed calico and a bit of sari silk, sort of aquary sari silk that I've just stitched down, and just 3 little beads in the middle, little trifecta of beads. So I'm really happy with this first block. I really like my reindeer. I think he's got some cute personality. You can see I've come in a little bit on my block. I'm actually thinking, and I think it was Laurie today, that decided to make her blocks bigger. So she's added in some fabrics around the outside, or some extra fabrics. From what I could see, she'd added that. I'm thinking about doing the same. I really like the book that I was originally going to use, but I think I want a little bit more room to be able to make some larger blocks, because this is quite small. So this is crooked here, and what I think I'll do is I'm going to decide which book I will use. I do have a copy of a very old encyclopedia from 1880 something that I found in an op shop really cheaply, and I do really like that book, and I like that it's really old. It has a very pretty spine, so I'm thinking about using that, but that would actually make my blocks much bigger, which I'm okay with, because you could always just add extra fabric. Like, this didn't take me too long. It's not overly embroidered. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. So I'll decide that for next week. The other thing I haven't decided on yet is my tag. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. Is my tag, and how I'm going to incorporate my tag. I think Rach might have done her tag this week, so she would have shown you how she does that. I will come up with my tag for next week. I was thinking about using this doily because it is got a few little points of damage, but that would make a tag too big. I think I might use this on something else. I'm not sure yet, or I might even keep it. It is really pretty. I'm not sure. I haven't thought about my tag yet, but we've got the whole month to decide on the tag. So things that you can do with your tag, a few people have been asking, but there's lots of people that have already started getting on with their tags. You certainly could have a pocket where you slip your tag into. You could have a tag that just sits in your journal like a bookmark. You could attach your tag, so you could even have a little eyelet where your tag is attached, and then it's got something on it or something on the back. I've seen a lot of people doing a tag that's got some really pretty embroidery on the front and on the back. So there are a few tags starting to pop up. I'm sure Rach might have come up with her idea already, but I haven't quite worked out what I want to do with my tag. You could also have a tag where you have a clip and it just holds it in place. Just like with junk journaling, and I know many of you are junk journalers, or you have junk journaled before. There are different ways that you can pop your tag in. You might even have this as your first page, and on your inside cover of your book you have your pocket there, and your tag goes into that side. So hopefully a few ideas are starting to come up for tags, but don't stress, you don't have to do it yet. You've still got the rest of this month to decide. So I hope you like what I've done on my first block, and next week we will have the reveal of our second theme for the month, and you'll need to come to my channel first to see, no, sorry, Rachel's channel first to see the reveal. Rachel is doing the reveals in July, then I'll do them next month and so on. Okay, so this is the end of my part of the video. I'm now going to go over and show you, I did a little bit of filming of Juju's journal, volume 1, and also I did a little bit of filming of some of her other stitchery, because there's some stuff there that's got a nice Christmassy, wintry, woodlandy feel, and it might give you some ideas. So stay tuned for some videos of Juju's work coming up next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Okay, so here we are. We're going to look at Juju's volume 1 of her Journal of Stitchery. Now, firstly, I just have to say I'm doing handheld film work, so you are going to get a bit of motion sickness. Sorry, it's a bit wobbly. And also I was filming it in the daylight, but Mum had like this lace curtain-y thing across the window, so the sunlight is kind of filtered a little bit, but hopefully you can see it. So you've already seen some pictures and maybe some videos of some of these early pages. Now, Mum's book is not put together. I think she wants you, Rach, to help her with that next time you come here. So I'm just going through the pages and showing you what she's done. I've already filmed quite a bit at the beginning, so you've probably seen a lot of this. But some of those later pages I haven't filmed before. So these were Mum's bunny page, and she did 2 butterfly and two bunny pages. So these ones will be paired together in the book, but as I said, the book's not put together yet, so not everything is in the correct order. In fact, I kind of start at the back and then go to the front where the newer stuff is, but the newer stuff will be towards the back when it's actually stitched down. So you can see some lovely details there of the embroidery that Mum's done on that butterfly, and she made the body out of a thick chenille fabric. And over here was one of her bunny pages where she cut the bunny out of some stamped fabric. I think that was from you, Rach. Mum made all these teeny tiny Suffolk puffs, which are super cute, and she has some gorgeous bits of lace and texture going on in the background. So flipping over, these were her sample pages, which I've showed you before. She definitely went with a red, white and blue theme. I like the way Mum has done, it looks like a whipped running stitch around the outside. It makes it look all stripy. And down the bottom, she's added these little bits of fabric. This is a good way to extend your page. If your page isn't quite big enough for the page that you want to go in your book, you can add some little bits and pieces down the bottom to extend your page a little bit further. That's what I'll probably be looking to do when I extend my first page that I've done for my volume 2, my reindeer page. So this is Mum's title page. She's done the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery heading, and she's done a little bit of embellishing of some different floral fabrics and stitched that down to a piece of toile. And then this was Mum's heart page. So she's got some lovely laces there in the background, and she's made a heart out of lace and stitched on the word love as well. So a red and white, or red and neutral theme, Mum's favourite colour, beige and red. This was Mum's bird page. She did a French pigeon, inspired by a French pigeon. I think, what am I going to look at? Yep, I'm looking at the pigeon page first. So we've got some lovely bits and pieces stitched down there, lots of cantha stitching. She embroidered the bird. I think she used stranded cotton for that. And there's a little bit of paper there in that hexagon. And then this is Mum's country cottage on an old piece of quilt. So some lovely embroidered leaves and some leaves made out of felt. That little bird there is really cute. I thought I'd zoom in and show you that. And here's Mum's cottage. So lots of lovely cantha stitching and Christmas trees made out of, it might be felted wool or wool felt. Mum does use both. Okay, so this is going to be her back page, even though I know it's out of order. This one's not stitched down. This is just a finale sort of page because she had one extra page to do. So what she's done is she's stitched on a base piece of linen fabric, it looks like there, and she stitched some really pretty flowers in some straight stitches, and it looks like some French knots. So mum's journal is looking lovely. This is the book that Rach gave her that it's going to go in, and it will be attached. So what I wanted to do is just show you some of mum's other work. Now these are just bits and pieces that she's done a lot of sort of fabric collaging and a lot of Canthor style stitching. So I thought the red and white would give you some inspiration, especially if you're doing the Christmas journal. These are not completed, they're just base pieces that she's been working on. I think she might be putting these into a quilt, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So under here, I'm just going to open this up for you. This is one of the blocks for her quilt. So this was, Mum did a class with Lisa Mattock, and she's doing like the woodland quilt. Okay, so there's a bunny block there, and then these ones here that I'm going to open up, these are bits and pieces that Mum has started putting together. Now they are still works in progress, so you can see some things have been completed, like this bird looks like it's fully completed. Now Mum did do a lot of crewel embroidery stitching with wool, so she's quite experienced with that kind of thing. So you can see all the detail in the nest. This bird is only semi-completed, and her mushrooms as well. You can see there's a lot of crewel style embroidery. And I particularly like these berries, the way she's done them with wool underneath, and then she's done a lot of beadwork on top to make them look like blackberries and raspberries and things like that. So her bunny's not quite done yet. But just all those lovely fabrics in the background stitched down with Canthor stitching. And then what's that little field mouse it looks like? And some flowers that she's been working on. So again, like I said, these are just things that she's working on. She's been working on them for a long time and gradually piecing bits and pieces together. And most of that embroidery looks like it's done with wool, with like the Appleton wools. Okay, so here's another panel. Hang on, I'm going to... Okay, I've opened this out properly. So we've got firstly some birds here. I don't think that one there is completed. And then she's got a little owl on a branch. Lots of nice texture there with the branch and the wool embroidered leaf as well. And then as we move along, she's got the lovely mushrooms. Now you can learn how to do those mushrooms with Lisa. She does have a class that will be coming up. It's an online little class that we're going to show you. It's not quite ready yet, but Lisa will have that soon. Good way to have a lesson from her. Join one of her online classes. And then she's got a little hedgehog there, some flowers, a cute little caterpillar, and that looks like it's a flower that she's still working on. All right, so moving along from that project, what I'm showing you here, this is something Mum did years ago. It was supposed to be a Christmas table runner, though Mum, you've never finished it. And we actually used this table runner as an inspiration, or pretty much we stole Mum's idea. And Rach and I made one that was published in Homespun magazine many years ago. I might go and see if I can find the magazine, and I'll show you what our table runner looked like. But all those little bits of that cute little gingerbread house and the trees and stuff like that, it's all felted wool. Along with lots of embroidery. Mum would be using stranded cottons, possibly perlé cottons, and wool threads as well. But I just thought I'd show you this, some different snippets of this, just to give you some ideas and inspiration for your Journal of Stitchery Volume 2, for your either your Christmas Journal of Stitchery or your Winter Journal of Stitchery. So there's some quite thick wool kind of, what would you call that? I don't know, like rope, wool rope, that Mum has just stitched in place using couching. And then her little houses are made out of felted wool with some embroidery on top. And then these little girls are very cute. Looks like they're playing in the snow. And then we've got another little house. Sorry if you can hear that noise, my cat's running around. Cute little Christmas houses, a little reindeer here with only one antler. I'm not sure if the other one's missing, or you just forgot to give it another one, or you can't really see it. So cute little snowman there. And this part here, Mum's not quite done. So she's embroidering on something called Solvi there. So Mum, you really should finish. You should finish that Christmas table runner because it's really cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of Mum's work, some of Juju's work, and possibly it might give you some ideas for your own work. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for our new theme. Bye.